Bam! Welcome back. Autobeam sponsored content. We have finally for the Mark 7 ST, full beam LED bulbs by Autobeam, so they should be good. So, what this kit includes, we've got obviously 2 bulbs, and it also comes with a clip. So you're going to need this clip because there's a little bit of work involved to make these work. But I'm going to run you all through that. You don't have to worry about that. It's super simple. You've got one clip here, and also inside the box you are supplied with this bracket clip here. So you've got the bulb, you've got a clip, and this. Now these bulbs, to my knowledge, are 8,000 lumen bulbs. They are, or should be, extremely bright. So you may have noticed your full beam bulb not kind of being up to par with the rest of your lights anymore. Although I don't use it too much, I am noticing I'm going down country roads a lot more at the minute. I don't know why, it's just my routes of work and stuff, which means I'm using my full beam bulb a lot more. So hopefully these kind of solve that issue where the full beam isn't quite up to standard. So I'm really looking forward to getting these installed. So let's snap to now. I'm going to remove the headlight from the car, 2 Torx bits, unplug it, pull it out. You're all good to go. If you haven't done it before, check out this. So if you haven't done this before, T30 Torx bit here, T30 Torx bit up top, and you've also got one of these clips. Now these clips down here, you literally just hold this base bit, get like a screwdriver or something underneath here, or even a posi drive can get in there, and then just rotate it or pop it up, and then just pull the whole thing up. So it's super simple. So Torx bits first, you just get underneath it, pop it up, and then you can actually just do that, get the clip up. So simple to do. Then all you gotta do, come down here, there'll be like a plug, press in the little button, give it a wiggle, that'll undo the plug, and then from there just give it a pull. It's best to kind of grab underneath and just kind of wheel it up nice and slowly, and then it will come out. And that's how you do it. So now we're going to go onto my table here. I'm just going to show you how to install these bulbs, how to install this clip, and then from there we'll pop it back into the car, and I'll show you guys kind of how well these full beams work. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is your orientation of your normal full beam bulbs. Your normal full beam bulb is here, and you can kind of hopefully see, if I just show you the kind of angle it's at. It's almost at like a 45-degree angle. So rather than it being like this or like this, you're looking at the bulb kind of at that kind of angle. So it's very important that whatever angle you take your bulb out at is the angle you put your new LED bulb back in. So on the back of your headlight, you've got main beam, so that's your dip beam. You've got your full beam, that's the one we're going to be looking at. And then you've got like your indicator here. So we're going to be looking inside of this compartment here. So just pull this cap. Inside here, we've got some wires. And you can kind of see the complicated connector. Hopefully you guys can see inside there, the complicated connector that's actually in there. I promise you it's not that complicated. So what we're going to do is remove that bulb first of all. Okay, so that is looking into your headlight. At the bottom, so just down here, there is a small clip. So we're going to grab that clip. You'll feel it once you're in there, but this clip where my index finger is, you're going to push it, pull it, and your bulb will come out. So once again, watch that orientation. So that is the orientation that you're going to need your new LED bulb to be. Okay, so that's very important. Keep that orientation. So next thing we're going to do is remove this bulb. It's held in with a spade connector on the back. So there is a spade connector just inside of here. So all you got to do is wiggle this bulb and it will come out. So that's your full beam bulb out of its socket. So now we're going to remove this base from the headlight. What we got to do is give it a little wiggle and a tug and it will come off. Be gentle with this, only do it like once or twice. But basically we're going to need this base in order to seat back into the housing down here. Once you've got your base, you will find that inside the housing, you might not be able to quite see it, but there's a hole here and a hole here. Basically that's going to line up. So hopefully you guys can see that, but I've now inserted the base. There's just, once again, 2 little prongs. Slide them into the kind of housing. You will see it a lot clearer once you're actually looking at it. Obviously this is a very hard angle, but there's the base there. We're now going to secure this base with a clip. Next you're going to use this supplied bracket. Now the way we're going to attach it, basically these two little notches here, so that little hole here and that little hole here, will line up with the chrome piece that I'm about to show you. So that bracket will line up with the chrome piece up top left there and the chrome piece just there. Basically what it's going to do is it's going to slide on. So I'm going to slide that on now. You might not be able to see as it's obviously a very awkward angle, but I'm going to slide it in and kind of show you how it sits. So that is how that bracket is going to sit. So you can see that it's slid onto the chrome pieces, one just here and one just around the corner just there. So basically it slides onto there and it holds that base plate in place. So now I'm actually going to slide the LED bulb into the bulb holder itself. So we've actually got obviously the base plate in, we've got the bracket that's holding the base plate into place, and then we've got our LED bulb. Now obviously there's an O-ring here. This is what's going to hold it securely into place. So you want to make sure this obviously gets pushed in nicely at 45 degrees into that hole, just to ensure that basically the bulb stays in place where we want it. So what we're going to do is just line it up, slide it in, obviously check your orientation on the other side of the headlight. Of course I've pushed the bulb in, it's at a 45-degree angle on the other side. Now it's just a case of wiring. Now the wiring section is very, very simple. I'll explain it the simplest way I possibly can. So you've got a negative cable and a positive cable. This is the easiest way to explain it. Obviously it's not 100% correct. It'll be the easiest way for you guys to follow. Now then, the positive cable is the one that your old bulb used to plug into, which was here. So that cable there is your positive. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my red cable from my new LED bulb and I'm going to plug it in to here. Okay, simple as that. So that is now plugged in to the positive side. I've got a negative side, which is this crimp here. Now then, what I'm going to do with this crimp, I'm going to open it up, and obviously on my negative side, which will be this wire there, on this side I'm going to crimp the wire. Obviously I can do it wherever I want. I'm just going to get it, make sure this metal section here is piercing the wire basically. So I'm going to pop it in between here like so. Get the crimp. Just double check, make sure it's seated in the right place, and I'm just going to use a pair of pliers just so I can get a bit of extra force behind it. You really don't need too much, but just enough so it clicks on. So give it a nice little squeeze, and that should be a connection made between those wires. So once again, I got my negative going to my negative cable, my positive going into the point where the old bulb used to plug in. From there, all you got to do is literally tuck it inside, replace the cap, and you're all good to go. So I'm just going to turn this, pop it into here, get my cap, pop that on top, and now we can forget about it. It's all ready to go. We just need to put a headlight back in and we're all good to run it. Cool, so just going to show you the difference between the two full beam bulbs now. We're in our normal filming location, so kind of just in a darkened warehouse estate, you know, industrial estate. So I'm just going to show you the difference between the two full beam bulbs now. The right hand side, which will be over here, will be the LED bulb from Autobeam, and the left hand side, which is over there, will be the normal halogen one that gets supplied with your car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a few flashes on and off, and then I'm going to try and block the bulbs. So I'm going to block the full beam bulb on one side and block it on the other side, and then you can kind of get a direct comparison between the two. So hopefully that explains kind of how to install it. It's very, very simple, very straightforward. It's probably quicker to do in person rather than with me. Obviously I'm filming, so it takes a little bit more time. The electrical side, so simple, it's just a crimp. If you need help, just PM me, but seriously, it's very, very simple. The bracket is probably the hardest bit, but that's just because it's slightly fiddly. but I mean, it took me probably 10-20 seconds to do. And then obviously just taking the headlights in and out. We've all done that before. You've seen the comparison, and it's kind of mind-blowing how clear and the clarity of these lights are. Obviously, with them being the same color temperature and the same kind of lumens as the other Autobeam bulbs, obviously the colors are the same, everything looks very premium, everything fits nicely into the actual housing itself. So if you're looking for a full beam bulb, to my knowledge, out of the big brands that are out there, Autobeam are the only brand that are actually doing these full beam bulbs. So make sure you check them out. There'll be a link in the description for the product itself. But overall, I'm super happy with it, as always. Thank you to Autobeam for sponsoring this video. And thank you guys for watching. As always, remember to like and subscribe down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.